Hey guys, this is Nick, and today I'm going to give you some tips on how to wash an extremely muddy bike. The first thing we're going to do is pop the air filter out, and we're going to protect it from all the water because we're going to be using a lot of it to wash, and we do not want it ending up in our engine. So the best thing that you can do is you get a plastic cover that'll fit perfectly where your air boot is, and it just is designed to keep the water out of it. I'm poor, so I just take my air filter, I stick it in the bag, look at the right orientation, and you want to put the open end of it in the back. And then once you get it back in position, we're just going to go ahead and reinstall this just as if there wasn't a plastic bag on it. And then for now, we are going to clean inside of the air box, but for now we're just going to put this cover on and we're going to try to keep water out of there. The battery's in there, obviously the inlet to the engine's in there. The next thing you want, obviously, is a butt plug for your exhaust. I'm a big two-stroke guy. This stuff's new to me, so I don't have the big four-stroke one yet, so we're just gonna send it without it. The next thing is gonna be using a degreaser on the bike. I come from the car detailing world. I see people just spraying foam all over everything as if it's doing anything. When there's this much mud on a bike, it does absolutely nothing to put degreaser on it beforehand. The degreaser is just soaking into these big bunks of mud. You're not really getting anywhere. You're just wasting product, in my opinion. So what I'm gonna do is pressure wash all the big stuff off first, then we'll use some degreaser and do a little bit of scrubbing and whatnot. And I got some tricks for you on degreaser, because there's a bunch of people out there telling you a bunch of bull crap. It doesn't work, and it will waste your time and your bank account. And I'm not into either of those things. So the next step is what you're washing it with. You're gonna waste so much time trying to get this much mud off of a bike with a garden hose that if it's all you got, then all right, but just don't do it. The next thing, electric pressure washers have really blown up over the last couple of years. 90% of them are garbage. What you need to know is the gallons per minute means the world. Pressure means nothing. I got a Sunjo. I got a Sunjo something. I got no idea what it is because it's been like 2 years since I bought it and it's still kicking. This thing takes gear oil in it. It's like, I want to say it's like 1500 PSI, but it's 1.8 to 2 gallons per minute. That's where your power is coming from, the gallons per minute. That's what's important. So this is a really awesome unit. I think I paid like $300, $350 for it, and it outperforms. It's pretty close to a Kranzla in terms of pressure washer performance. So we're gonna hook us some water. All right, we're gonna reel that thing on out. Before you turn your pressure washer on, get the air out of the system first. And this is the first step of the magic. Get out your kinks, or not if you like being kinky. All right, so right here, we got a 25-degree pressure washer tip. I'm a big 25-degree person. It does everything well for me. Watch how inefficient it is at taking off this mud, and then wait for the secret I got for you. So I pressure washed that one spot for quite some time, and all we got is that one little clean spot right there. Not a lot of good return. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the Turbo Johnson on there. This thing is gonna boost your application of mud, remove all of your graphics and everything all in one shot. You gotta be careful with this bad boy, because if it catches an edge, boom, your rear fender graphics, they're gone. They're in Saturn. This is basically a 0-degree pressure washer tip. 0 degrees will like slice through your skin in a very painful way, but it spins. So it's a 1 degree, 0% going like this. Watch. You can see how much is built up inside of the radiator fins, all of this pine straw sticking out of here. This is all gonna affect cooling on the bike big time, so you really wanna make sure to take your time, go through all the areas where there's joints, where there's bearings, wherever there's some sort of movement going on, and make sure it's free of debris, and make sure you take your time on the cooling system of the engine, because cleaning that out is gonna help a lot, especially if you're riding a 250 slow through the woods. So as I'm pressure washing, I'm thinking of some tips to share with you guys, and I think that how good the bike comes out is really just a matter of like your awareness. So for example, as I'm pressure washing out around this exhaust back here, I noticed that it's dirty in between here and there, and to make sure to get the pressure washer tip angled in to where it'll actually clean in that crevice. And it's really just about taking your time, starting from the top of the bike, working your way to the bottom, because the last thing you want to do is like get the wheels super clean and then you pressure wash under the fender and now the wheel's trashed again, you know what I mean? So save a little bit of time, top to bottom, pay attention, look at what you're cleaning. If you're cleaning an area and dirt starts spilling out of it, you know you're onto something. An example of that is this. This is a open tube or a hole in my frame that goes all the way up, and a lot of dirt was in there, so I made sure to get it up into it. Be careful around wheel bearings. Don't get that 0 degree pressure washer tip barreling straight into it, because you don't want to bust the seal or get water into where there's supposed to be grease. And do this somewhere where cleanup will be easy. I did this very close to the side over here, so I can just brush all the dirt off at the end, call it a day. But we're gonna keep pressure washing this. I'm about to tip it on its side, tip it to the other side, stand it back up, pressure wash it one more time. Then once we got all the big mud off, the cleaning begins. All right, I got the camera set up on a fork right now. And we're about to mix up some super clean. So this stuff is amazing. This is like 20 bucks for 2.5 gallons. Mix it 4 to 1. So we're under here right now. We're gonna go like right there. You know, we're going a little heavy for this application. We're going 3 to 1. Now we're gonna put some water in that thing. Excuse me, Mr. Porsche. We're LS swapping the Porsche. If you guys want to check that out, we'll make some videos on it. All right, so the beauty of the super clean is this. If you apply it while it's dry, you will get amazing results out of it. And the reason why is because when it's wet, it dilutes it. If the bike is wet, the water on the bike will dilute the power of your super clean. You'll never get as good of results. So it kind of sucks having to do this after I rinse the bike just because of how much mud was on there. But if you mix it a little bit heavier, maybe 3 to 1, 2 to 1 or something like that, you'll still get some pretty good results. But the goal is to spray this stuff on, and you want to soak it. You want full coverage everywhere. This is a heavy degreaser, and as long as you get full coverage, meaning that every part of the paints, the plastics, metals, anything like that is fully covered by the super clean, it will not leave streaks. But if you put half a spray on there and it starts drying out, it will leave little dots. So make sure you got at least 1 bottle. You'll probably want 2 bottles for a bike. Soak everything down, let it sit for a little minute, put your 25 degree tip back on it, pressure wash it off, and we're close to being done. Hey, can you come film me wetting it up for the one time? Yeah. You know what we're doing right now, baby?
What are we doing right now, baby? Super clean sponsor us.
Want that thing dripping. Want that thing dripping, cuz under the swing arm, the linkage, the white on the airbox, the rear shock, the back of the chain, the inside of the tire, the muffler, the butt plugless muffler. Where my pressure washer tip at? All right, a huge tip for your pressure washer tip is put the pressure washer tip somewhere you don't remember it, because some things easy to lose. I put it in my back pocket. I didn't think it was there because I also have my wallet. not back pocket. Who's putting their wallet in their back pocket? Broke people. All right, and then so I said top. Put the camera up. And so I said top to bottom for when you're pressure washing the mud off. But when you got the grease on the whip, you want to start bottom to top. Because if I go and rinse off the seat like I just did, being stupid, now all the water's gonna rinse off the degreaser that's working magic. So now if you work bottom to top, you'll keep the degreaser on the top stuff, not rinsing it off without the pressure washer. And I will say the magic of using Super Clean is it's soaked with Super Clean. You get the pressure washer just the right distance away and you just do a little pass over it and it comes perfectly clean. So let's test it out. And I know a lot of you ride dirt bikes, you don't really care about having a clean dirt bike because it's a dirt bike. But the value that I found out of taking a lot of time to wash your bike like this is where you find problems that would be good preventative maintenance. This is when you're gonna find bolts that are coming loose. This is when you're gonna find parts that are wearing out. Just because you're taking some time to familiarize yourself with the bike, you're looking at everything real thoroughly, and it's clean, which is gonna show maybe cracks or any other sort of an issue. So I always like to take my time after a good ride just to kind of know that the bike's good, you know? So we got the bike all washed up, we got it inside, and the first thing that we're gonna do is to keep the chain from rusting out, we're gonna spray some WD on it. And the reason WD and not chain lube is one, this stuff is cheaper, and two, the whole purpose of this stuff is to displace water. So any water that's on this chain, this will help remove it much better than a chain lube would, and make sure that you got it out. So really just think of like WD-40ing stuff after a wash as getting water out of places that you don't want it at. We're just gonna give it a little wipe as well. Still got a little stuff here and there. I also opted to not pressure wash inside of this box. I'm gonna take this over to the sink, rinse it out, wipe it down. I'm also just gonna take a microfiber and kind of wipe up the dirt that's inside of the air filter box. And then come on over to additional pivot points, such as like where the foot pegs are moving. I sprayed a lot of water in there trying to get rocks and grime out. This will help kind of get the water out of all of these contacts so that it's not going to rust up. Work it in there a little bit. Same thing with the shifter. And then obviously give it a good wipe afterwards because WD ain't that efficient on your foot pegs. Spray in the levers where they hinge.